Hello, my best students, and welcome again to your channel, Native Flow. Today's story is a little uncomfortable. Not dramatic in the way you expect, not a big accident, not a sudden tragedy, but something slower, quieter, the kind of life that doesn't collapse in one day, but disappears, piece by piece, without making noise. This is the story of Daniel, and if you listen carefully, you might recognize parts of yourself in it. Not because you lost everything, but because sometimes you don't even notice what you're losing. Daniel was not poor. That's important. He had a job, a stable one, customer support for a small tech company. Nothing exciting, but enough to pay rent, buy food, and feel safe. And that word, safe, was the beginning of the problem. Because Daniel didn't hate his life. He just didn't feel anything about it. Every day looked the same. He woke up at 8:12, not 8 o'clock, not 8:30, always 8:12. Because he calculated exactly how many minutes he needed to avoid being late without wasting a single second awake. Brush teeth, coffee, same cup, same chair, same quiet apartment. No music, no thinking, just routine. Then work, answering messages. Hello, how can I help you today? He wrote that sentence maybe 200 times a day. At some point, it stopped feeling like a sentence. It felt like a sound, like noise, like something his fingers typed without asking his brain. And slowly, Daniel started disappearing from his own life. Not physically, mentally. He was there, but not really there. And this is where most people don't understand the danger. Because nothing is wrong. No crisis, no failure, no pain, just nothing. And nothing can be more dangerous than pain, because pain pushes you to change, but comfort keeps you exactly where you are. Daniel told himself something simple: I'm fine. And that sentence became his prison. Months passed, then 1 year, then 2, and if you asked him, "Are you happy?" he wouldn't say yes, but he wouldn't say no either. He would just smile, a little, and change the subject, because deep inside, he didn't want to answer that question. One evening, something small happened, so small, most people would ignore it. But for Daniel, it was the beginning of everything. He came home, put his keys on the table, sat down, and for some reason, he didn't open his phone. He just sat there, in silence, looking at the wall, not thinking, not moving. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Then something strange happened. A thought appeared. Clear, sharp, uncomfortable. This can't be my life. He didn't say it out loud, but he felt it. And for the first time in a long time, he didn't ignore it. Because usually, when that thought came, he would open his phone, watch something, distract himself, escape. But that night, he stayed, and that changed everything. Because when you stop escaping, you start seeing the truth. And the truth was simple. He didn't lose everything in one moment. He lost it slowly. His curiosity, his energy, his ambition, his ability to feel excited about anything. Not because life was hard, but because life was too comfortable. And comfort was killing him, not loudly, but quietly. And now, for the first time, He could see it. So, Daniel didn't wake up one day and lose everything. That's not how it happened. If anything, from the outside, his life looked stable, predictable, even comfortable. And that's exactly why he didn't see it coming. At work, nothing dramatic happened. No big mistake, no conflict, no warning signs. Just small things, repeated every day. The same questions, the same answers, the same conversations. Copy, paste, send. At some point, he stopped reading what people were saying. He already knew the pattern. Customer complains. Daniel apologizes. Problem solved. Next. It became automatic. And when something becomes automatic, you slowly disappear from it. One afternoon, something slightly different happened. A customer wrote a long message, not angry, not rude, just tired. The message said, "I've been trying to fix this issue for 3 days. I feel like nobody is actually listening." Daniel read it. Well, his eyes read it, but his brain, it was already preparing the usual answer. "Hello, I understand your frustration." He typed it, paused, deleted it, typed it again, paused, and for a strange reason, he couldn't send it. Not because it was wrong, but because it felt empty, like he was lying without meaning to. He leaned back in his chair, looked at the screen, and whispered very quietly, "I don't even listen anymore." That moment was uncomfortable, because it wasn't about the customer. It was about him. He realized something simple but heavy. He wasn't just repeating sentences. He was repeating days, the same way, without thinking, without feeling. And suddenly his job didn't feel like a job. It felt like a loop he didn't choose, but also didn't try to leave. That evening, on his way home, he didn't listen to music, didn't check his phone. He just walked and started noticing things he never noticed before. The same street, the same buildings, the same people. And yet, everything felt different. Not because the world changed, but because he was finally paying attention. When he got home, he opened his laptop. Not for work, not for entertainment, just opened it and sat there, looking at a blank screen. And for the first time in a long time, he didn't know what to do. No automatic action, no privichka, just silence. He laughed a little, softly, almost embarrassed, because he realized something strange. He had time, but he didn't know how to use it. And that's when it hit him, harder than before. I didn't lose my job. I didn't lose money. I lost direction. And without direction, even a full life feels empty. That night, he didn't make a plan, didn't write goals, didn't watch motivation. He just did something small. He opened a new document and wrote one sentence. "I don't know what I'm doing, but I can't stay like this." He stared at that sentence for a long time, then closed the laptop. And for the first time in years, he felt something real. Not happiness, not motivation, but honesty. And honesty is where real change begins. A few days passed. Nothing dramatic. No sudden change. Daniel still went to work. Still woke up at 8:12. Still made the same coffee. But something inside him was no longer quiet. That sentence he wrote kept coming back. "I can't stay like this." It followed him. At work, on the bus, even when he tried to ignore it. And the strange thing is, when you finally see your life clearly, it becomes harder to pretend everything is fine. Before, he was comfortable. Now, he was aware. And awareness can feel heavy. One morning, his manager called him. "Daniel, can you come for a minute?" Normal tone. Nothing serious. At least, that's what he thought. He walked in, sat down, and noticed something small. His manager didn't smile. Just a neutral face. Calm. Too calm. "You've been here for 3 years now," he said. Daniel nodded. and you're consistent. Pause. But something feels off lately. Daniel didn't answer because he knew. He felt it too. You're doing the job, but you're not really here. That sentence hit deeper than expected, not because it was unfair, but because it was true. And truth is hard to defend against. I think you need a break, the manager continued, a real one, time to think. Daniel felt something strange in his chest, not panic, not fear, something else, like the ground was moving slowly under him. What do you mean? He asked. We're letting you go. Silence. No dramatic music, no explosion, just silence. Daniel didn't react immediately, because part of him already knew this was coming. Maybe not consciously, but somewhere deep inside, he felt it. He packed his things. Very slowly. Headphones, notebook, that same notebook where he once wrote, "New life plan." Still empty. He held it for a second, then put it in his bag. Locked out. No one stopped him. No one made a scene. Because in reality, nothing big happened. Just another employee leaving. Ordinary. Forgettable. But for Daniel, this was the moment where everything changed. Not because he lost his job, but because he lost his last excuse. Before, he could say, I don't have time. Now, he had nothing but time. And that is terrifying. Because when you remove distractions, you are left with one thing, yourself. That afternoon, he didn't go home immediately. He walked, without direction, without music, without a plan. And for the first time, his mind was loud, not with noise, but with questions. What am I doing? What do I actually want? What have I been avoiding? No answers, just questions. And strangely, that was enough, because something shifted. He didn't feel like a victim. He didn't say, why me? Instead, he said something unexpected, quietly, almost like a confession. Good. He stopped walking, looked around, and repeated it. Good. Because deep inside, he understood something most people never accept. He didn't lose everything. He was given a chance, a real one. Not comfortable, not easy, but honest. And sometimes, losing what keeps you stuck is the only way to finally move. The next morning, there was no alarm, no reason to wake up early, no messages waiting, no schedule, just silence. Daniel opened his eyes, looked at the ceiling, and for a second, he felt light, free, then heavy, because freedom without direction can feel like falling. He checked his phone. No emails, no missed calls, nothing urgent. And that nothing started to feel uncomfortable. Before, his time was full. Now, it was empty. And empty time forces you to see things you've been avoiding. He got up, slowly, made coffee, same cup, same chair, but everything felt different. Because now, he knew. There was no system holding him, no job to return to, no structure, just him. And the question he couldn't escape anymore, what now? He opened his laptop, stared at the screen, typed how to make money online, paused, deleted it. Not because it was wrong, but because it felt too easy, too general, too far from reality, and said quietly, I don't even know what I'm looking for. And that was the truth. Not failure, not confusion, just no clarity. So instead of searching for answers, he did something different. He asked a better question. What can I try today? Not what will change my life, not what will make me rich, just what can I try? He remembered something small. A friend once told him, you write well, you just don't use it. At the time, he ignored it. Now, it came back. So he opened a blank page and started writing. Not something important, not something perfect, just thoughts, simple sentences, messy ideas. At first, it felt strange, like using a muscle he forgot existed. He stopped, started again, deleted, rewrote, and after 30 minutes, he had one page. Not amazing, not impressive, but real. He looked at it, and for a second, he felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Not pride, not excitement, but progress. Small, quiet, but there. He didn't celebrate, didn't overthink it. He just closed the laptop and said, "Tomorrow, again." That was it. No big plan, no pressure, just repeat. The next day, he almost didn't do it. He woke up late, felt lazy, opened his phone, scrolled, and for a moment, he was about to go back to his old life. But then, that sentence came back again. "I can't stay like this." He sighed, put the phone down, and opened the laptop. This time, it was harder. Less motivation, less energy, more resistance. And that's when he learned something important. The first day feels good. The second day is where it becomes real. Because now, you're not following emotion, you're building discipline. He wrote again, shorter, less clean, but he showed up, and that mattered more than quality. Days passed, and slowly, writing became easier. Not perfect, but natural. And one afternoon, while scrolling, yes, he still scrolled sometimes, haha, he saw something. A small post, someone looking for help, needs simple content written, nothing complex. He read it, scrolled past it, stopped, went back, read it again. His heart beat a little faster. Not from excitement, from doubt. Am I ready for this? Silence. Then another thought. When will I be ready? He stared at the screen for a few seconds. Then, without overthinking, he clicked and wrote a message. Simple, honest. "I'm still learning, but I can do this." He hesitated, read it again, almost deleted it, then sent it. And in that moment, something shifted. Not outside, inside, because for the first time, he didn't wait to feel ready. He acted while feeling unsure. And that was new. The reply didn't come immediately. Not that day, not the next morning. And for a moment, Daniel felt that old feeling again, that quiet voice. "See, this won't work." He didn't fight it. He didn't try to be positive. He just noticed it and kept going. He wrote again that day. Short, simple, not perfect, but consistent. And then, later that evening, his phone vibrated. One message from the same person. "Hey, can you send me a short sample?" Daniel stared at the screen, not smiling, not excited, just focused, because this moment was different. Before, he would panic, overthink, try to be perfect. Now, he just opened his laptop and started. No music, no distractions, just him and the page. He wrote slowly, then faster, then stopped. Read everything again, not to impress, but to understand. Is this clear? Is this real? After an hour, he had something. Not amazing, but honest. He sent it, closed the laptop, and didn't check his phone. That was new too, because he realized something important. Once you do the work, waiting changes nothing. The next morning, he checked. One new message. "This is good. Let's start." That's it. No big words, no excitement. But for Daniel, it meant everything. Because this wasn't luck. This wasn't random. This was the result of small actions, repeated quietly. The first task paid very little, almost symbolic. But money was not the point. Proof was. Proof that he could create value. Proof that someone, somewhere, was willing to pay for something he made. And that changes the way you see yourself. Because suddenly, you're not trying anymore. You're doing. Weeks passed, then months. Not perfect, never perfect. Some days were slow. Some clients disappeared. Some work was rejected. And yes, sometimes he still doubted himself. But the difference now was simple. He didn't stop, not because he was always motivated, but because he stopped negotiating with himself. Work even when you don't feel like it. Show up even when it's messy. Continue even when it's unclear. And slowly, his life started to rebuild. Not in a dramatic way, but in a stable one. His income grew, not fast, but steady. His routine changed, not perfectly, but intentionally. And most importantly, his mind changed. He stopped asking, "What if I fail?" and started asking, "What's the next step?" And that question is what moves you forward. One evening, he sat in the same chair, same cup of coffee, same quiet room. But this time, it felt different, because now he was present. He looked around and realized something strange. Nothing around him had changed much. Same apartment, same desk, same city. But inside, everything was different. And that's when it became clear. He didn't lose everything. He lost a version of himself that was stuck, confused, comfortable. And in losing that version, he made space for a new one. Not perfect, not extraordinary, but real. Built step by step, choice by choice. And if there's one thing you should take from this story, it's this. You don't rebuild your life in one moment. You rebuild it in the small decisions nobody sees. The moments where you choose to act instead of escape. To try instead of wait. To continue instead of quit. And maybe you're not at rock bottom. Maybe you didn't lose everything. But maybe there's something in your life right now that you know isn't right. Something small, quiet, easy to ignore. And if that's true, don't wait for everything to collapse. Don't wait for a big moment. Just start before you're forced to. Because sometimes the best thing that can happen to you is not losing everything. It's realizing that you don't want to and changing before it's too late.